What up, YouTube? It's your boy Dan, the Lakers fan, coming to you guys on a Friday night. I'm sorry I couldn't make this video earlier. I finally got my sloppy cast removed. I'm trying to rehab my hand. It's going to take like a month more to get feeling right back in here because right now I can't really ball up my hand into too much of a fist with these last two fingers I broke from here. So, hopefully I recover in a month, guys. But I want to make this video today about the Lakers. Finally, we have something to talk about. Something interesting happened today earlier. I wanted to drop the video all day, but I was busy. Like I said, I got the cast removed. Then I went out with my family, just got back home. But Larry Bird has stepped down as president of basketball operations, and this comes to a big blow and surprise to everybody, especially within the Pacers organization. Nobody saw this coming, right? We thought, well, it's going to be tough, but there's a chance that we can trade for Paul George because, Larry Bird and Magic are good friends, even though Bird might ask for a lot in return because he is a rival of the Lakers. So what does this mean for the Lakers? Larry Bird steps down in a crucial offseason for them where they have to choose whether they're going to try to keep Paul George and risk losing him for nothing in 2018 or just trade him away while he still has value and get them whatever they can in return. It's very interesting. I feel like my personal opinion is that Larry Bird stepped down because the writing was on the wall. There's been so many rumors that Paul George is hell-bent on joining the Lakers in the summer of 2018. Now more than ever, per Sam Amick on Twitter, and many other sources are also reporting the same thing. Even teammates are coming out saying, ex-teammates are coming out saying that Paul George has always wanted to be a Laker. And so I feel like him getting swept by LeBron pretty much closed the door on any chance of him re-signing with Indiana. I still feel like that all-NBA team matters, but if he doesn't make it, pretty much there's no looking back. And there's a super high chance they trade Paul George this summer. I feel like we should go out and get him. And this is why. Let me tell you why. He's more attainable more now than ever, especially if it's true, the rumors are true, right? And I believe they're true because there's a lot of credible sources that he wants to be a Laker. We hold all the leverage. Other teams aren't going to want to touch him with a 10-foot pole if it's just a summer rental. And if they do trade for him, they're not going to offer as much as we might offer for him because we know he wants to be here. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Magic Johnson proceeds now that his good friend Larry Bird is not running that franchise. And to see if this new GM that comes in or this new president of basketball ops comes in and he wants to start off fresh with a clean slate because his feelings aren't as attached to Paul George as Larry Bird's were since he drafted him and everything. It's a different thing, right? He might want to start off fresh and get as many assets as he can for a rebuild because it's harder for a team like the Pacers to land free agents. So they always have to try to do it through the draft and then get lucky and maybe land free agents. But interesting, guys. I felt like Larry Bird knew the writing was on the wall. Paul George was going to be a Laker. And he didn't want no part of it. That's why I think he stepped down. I think he had too much pride. I was watching earlier today SportsCenter, when I was at the doctor, and they were chiming in on it. They were giving their opinion, and Chris Broussard said that the same thing I'm saying. That he feels like the writing's on the wall. That Paul George is more attainable than ever. So I don't feel like Larry Bird was comfortable with another rebuild, and you can't blame him. I mean, the man was there for several years. He built a decent team. When was it? Back in 2012 when they had Roy Hibbert, they had Lance Stevenson playing his best basketball, and they had Paul George rising barely when he was younger, before he broke his leg. Right? They looked so good, and they looked like a serious threat to challenge LeBron. And at the time, I believe it was the Miami Heat. Those days have sailed, and now it looks like they're going to have to blow it all up. What does this mean for the Lakers? I'll tell you what it means. It means we have a higher chance of landing Paul George and not having to give up the whole farm. Meaning, maybe now, especially since we have the leverage, we can trade a Jordan Clarkson, our first overall pick, and maybe a couple of seconds and a contract here or there. Maybe we can get away with a Julius Randle and a first overall, a top 3 protected pick if we keep it. And some other young pieces to go without having to touch D'Lo or Ingram. Maybe we can get away with that. Maybe not. We'll have to see how much hardball this new president of basketball ops, plays in negotiations. But one thing's for certain: with Larry Bird stepping down, I definitely see Paul George leaving, because Larry Bird, he's a very persuasive dude, and I feel like he could have. If there was anybody that could have got PG-13 to resign, it would have been him. But anyways, guys, just a quick thought for me. I didn't watch any of the games today, so I'm not gonna chime in. Like I said, I was out for most of the day. First with the cast, and then with my family. And I heard the Clippers unfortunately forced the Game 7, but I still believe the Utah Jazz will defeat the Clippers. I hope they do. I don't want to see the Clippers in playoffs anymore. And if they do make it to the second round, they got the Golden State Warriors waiting for a sweep, so it doesn't matter. But the Boston Celtics advanced, unfortunately. Oh, and by the way, that brings up another good point. Larry Bird stepping down also eliminates any chances of him making a homeboy deal with the Boston Celtics, like a hometown discount type of trade where you trade away Paul George to the Celtics and not get much in return, or just get young assets without giving up too many players. So pretty much a big part of our competition, the Boston Celtics, are less likely to trade for Paul George now that Larry Bird is not there. But anyways, guys, this is just my opinion. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, tell me what you guys think. Should we go after George this summer now with this new revelation, or should we still stand pat? Tell me if your guys' opinion has changed. I believe now is the time to go get him, and you don't have to give up too much anymore. But we'll see what happens, guys. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys soon.